What's the biggest story in the country right now? Well, I would say it's the Twitter files. Not that there aren't other important stories. There is the economy, there is the border. But in terms of these revelations coming out almost in successive waves, and I want to focus on the latest one, which journalist Barry Weiss calls Twitter Files Part 5. This is getting, again, very little, if any, mainstream media coverage. They're embarrassed. This is their strategy. It was their strategy with 2,000 Mules. Let's try to ignore it. Let's hope it kind of all goes away. If it doesn't go away, we'll have to wade in and start attacking Elon Musk. And some of that is starting to happen. But by and large, nothing on NBC, nothing on CBS, nothing on ABC, virtually nothing in the rest of the mainstream media. Now, this, I think, makes it even more obligatory for podcasts like mine to relay what we're actually finding out. And that's really what I want to do in the next couple of segments. So the focus here is on the banning of Trump from Twitter and how that came about. It came about right around January 6th, and we're going to look at it blow by blow. So the first part of what happens is that Trump, right after January 6th, tweets out, "The 75 million great American patriots who voted for me, America first, and make America great again will have a giant voice long into the future. They will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form." Wow, whoop-de-doo. And then Trump goes on to say in a second tweet that he's not going to go to the inauguration. Now, interestingly, there is a movement gathering at Twitter of Twitter employees demanding that they ban Trump. And one Twitter employee says there's a lot of employee advocacy happening. And the Washington Post, in the early afternoon of January 8th, publishes a letter signed by 300 Twitter employees to Jack Dorsey demanding that Trump be banned. "We must examine Twitter's complicity in what President-elect Biden has rightly termed insurrection." So Twitter now begins to look at Trump's tweets, and they conclude he's not violating their rules in any way. Quote, "I am not seeing clear or coded incitement in the DJD Donald J. Trump tweet," writes Anika Navaroli, a Twitter policy official. "I'll respond to the elections channel and say that our team has assessed and found no bios of violations for the DJT one." And then she continues, "As an FYI, Safety," this is Twitter's Safety, "has assessed the DJT tweet above and determined that there is no violation of our policies at this time." And then the Twitter Safety team puts out a statement. "It is a clear no violation. It's just to say he's not attending the inauguration." Exactly. And yet, at this point, Vijay Agade, Twitter's chief legal policy officer, weighs in. This is just about 90 minutes after they decided no violations. And she basically asked whether, quote, she asked whether it could be, quote, coded incitement to further violence. In other words, this is the good old dog whistle argument. Is Trump speaking in a coded language to his supporters? So what he says is on the face of it benign, but there's some underlying message. And this, of course, causes Twitter to jump, in a sense, to attention. Quote, "A few minutes later, Twitter employees on the scaled enforcement team said, in fact, that Trump's tweet may have violated the glorification of violence policy." How? Well, essentially by taking Trump's benign phrase, American patriots, and substituting rioters. So this is Twitter projecting onto Trump. It's not anything Trump says. They're putting, in a sense, words in his mouth by saying he says patriots, he means rioters. And then from there, essentially, you may say all hell breaks loose. Things escalate, says Barry Weiss. Members of the team come to view Trump as, quote, "the leader of a terrorist group responsible for violence and deaths comparable to Christchurch shooter or Hitler. And on that basis and on the totality of his tweets, he should be deplatformed." Then there's an emergency kind of meeting. Jack Dorsey is there, Vijay Agade is there, and basically all this overheated rhetoric about the banality of evil. Joel Roth, the little twerp who, is now apparently in hiding because, of course, all his misdeeds have been exposed. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the people around Ceausescu once the kind of, there was an expose of all the stuff that had been going on in communist Romania. Yeah, I'm sure they had to move out of their houses too. Now, Dorsey, I think, here gives in and decides, okay, we're going to ban Trump. He now wants to make sure the language is worded right. But I think with Dorsey here, you're dealing with a spineless guy. I mean, a guy, maybe he has, as Elon Musk says, a good heart. I don't know. I wouldn't jump to that conclusion personally myself. But so either he's corrupt or he's an invertebrate. Or, as sometimes happens to be the case, he's both. But in any event, he goes along with this. And then, says Barry Weiss, there's ecstasy at Twitter. They're thrilled that Trump is banned. It's like a massive ideological hit. And so let's draw the conclusion here, and Elon Musk has not hesitated to do this. By and large, Trump violated no Twitter policy. And yet, here he is, a sitting president that was banned really by the collective actions of about 4 people. And who are these 4 people? These are 4 people, a 35-year-old Joel Roth, this Asian Indian woman, Vijay Agade, Jack Dorsey. Like 4 guys who are like in their 30s and 40s sitting around going, yeah, let's ban the president of the United States. Let's cut him off from his ability to communicate with his own followers. This is really what went down